do get into our next conversation now, and we'll be discussing several things, including just trying to understand police procedure, chain of command, chain of responsibility, accountability within the police service. And we'll be speaking to the director of the National Communications Center, who is also a former police spokesperson, Charles Owino. Good morning, Charles.
Morning to you. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very good. You're well.
Yes. Tuanze the quote of the day. We always start with a quote. So Falaris will share the quote of the day with you. You can say if it speaks to you, if you agree or disagree.
Karibu sana. Today's quote is courtesy of a man that was a British writer and a scholar. He's famous for one of his works is Chronicles of Narnia. And the quote reads, "Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching." And actually the author of the quote is C.S. Lewis. Forgot to mention his name. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. How does that speak to you?
That's great. You see, you ought not to be policed to do the right thing. And therefore, when all of us choose to do the right things without supervision, you just take it as a responsibility, then that actually amounts to integrity. And it forms a very important base of our day-to-day lives.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. I like that. We start with the word integrity because integrity and policing and having to be supervised to do the right thing, and that would be a very good anchor to look at the happenings of yesterday, even as we seek to understand how the police service works and what again informed what we saw yesterday as a form of either mitigation measures that came from the police force. Do you think we largely, and this is a very broad question, do we think as Kenyans, the state, the police force and the institutions, integrity is something that we can pride ourselves for?
First of all, it's important to appreciate history. We say history is the autobiography of our day-to-day activities. Whatever happened yesterday is history. It was an event that took place yesterday, and therefore it gets into an autobiography of that particular day, and it becomes autobiography of the future, and that forms history. The state, what we call the state, did not just come yesterday.
True.
Those who have done political science will tell you, or those who have read a little bit will tell you, that long before, we lived in a state of nature. Like the way you see the wild animals live. You just run, get hold of another animal and eat it. There was no order, there was no law. We lived in the jungle. And after the Treaty of the Westphalia, I think around 14th or 16th century, people came up with what we call the state. And that is how we came up with the executive, we came up with parliament, and we came up with judiciary. So that there's a balance on what we do. In the process, the state had to get, if I use the word tool, activists take it wrongly, but practically, they had to get somebody to undertake the policing. The place where you report if somebody offends you. And that is how some republics become banana republics. How? Because you are in a country where you don't have a place to report. Even when we are trying to fix our neighboring country, Somalia, or any other country that has been in war, what you usually find is that the law and order has totally broken. There are no police stations, there are no prisons, there are no courts, there is no parliament to discuss issues. So what happens is that there must be police to ensure that there is somebody you can report to. And then the police carries out investigations, and if there's evidence enough, can arrest you, but not kill you, arrest you, not beat you. and present you before the court of law, where you will be heard. And if you lose the case, you'll be convicted and maybe taken to prison or you pay a fine. That is order. And that is why I always say that policemen are not watchmen. They are officers of the law. And we must give them a place in the community, a place of honor. Not mistreat them, not pay them poorly, not look at them as people who are not going to school.
True.
The police service is the only institution which cuts across all professions. They need doctors to be pathologists.
Yes.
They need engineers to help us even in carrying out investigations. You've seen houses collapsing and so on. Who is that policeman who is a quantity surveyor? Who is that policeman who is an architect? Who is that policeman who is an engineer that can bring all this together?
True.
I'm proud of one of my nephews who is ex-Alliance, an A-plane student, an electric and electronic engineer who is a police officer in the forensics department in DCI. I want to see Kenyans thinking of having many young people who have done law, who are advocates, to join the police, to work as police officers, to understand the systems. These are the people who grow later to become even prosecutors, even if they go to the DPP. These are the people that I want to see when they are in their late 40s, 50s, applying to become judges in criminal division.
Yeah.
That's what we are looking at. We are looking at that kind of we don't want to look at a country where we think that every policeman should be just that person who got a D or an E, so that we can communicate, so that we can be in a space where we have a service that you respect.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. I've told people this on and on again. The first black African to be commissioner of police, Mr. Hinga, who became commissioner of police in 1964, was an ex-Alliance student with Division 1, joined police in 1955. We have the famous Kanyotu of Special Branch, currently NIS, joined police in 1959 from Makerere. What's happening today? Why don't we want to give our police honor and respect so that we have a country where law enforcers are people we can respect?
Well,
that does not mean
that.
we don't have such people. So
Yeah.
they have a role and they are officers of the law. Now, we have the famous Constitution 2010. A great constitution that we all celebrated. I'm sure you could have been in school that time, or even younger, or even maybe in primary. So, this constitution gave us chapter 4, where we have the human rights.
Yes.
In that chapter, we have Article 37, which has given us the opportunity and privilege that every person has a right
Correct.
to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and present petition peaceably and unarmed.
Yes.
Now, the Constitution does not write everything. The Constitution allows that Parliament shall come up with acts, laws that can implement that Constitution.
Correct.
And that is where we have what we call the Public Order Act, to ensure that there is public order.
Yeah.
As much as we have not reviewed the old public order, but it is basic. What does it say? It says, I'm just giving you a background so that we can now discuss.
Yes.
Correct.
It
It's a
says
very good background.
that when you want to assemble, when you want to picket, when you want to present a petition, you notify the police at least 3 days before,
Correct.
and not more than 14 days before. Why 3 days before? So that like yesterday we had commemoration. There must be a person called a convener, the person who will convene. Not everybody. You don't just say, like in a marketplace, that there will be commemoration and it ends there. No. There will be commemoration. Even if you want to have it in Kisumu, in Mombasa, in all county headquarters, or just in Nairobi.
Yeah.
If you want to have it all over the country, but in specific areas like in county headquarters, then you inform the OCSs of those respective places. And if it is to be in Nairobi, you inform the OCS of the jurisdiction that you want to carry it.
Yes.
Like now, you can say, we want to have a commemoration.
Yes.
But we will assemble in this place at this time. Then from there, we will walk to the church maybe, and then from there we will go to maybe Uhuru Park and have a rally and disperse.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Very quick.
So
okay.
when this one happens, it gives the police opportunity. Number one, to protect you. Number two, it also gives the police opportunity to know we are going to have a procession on this road, so we block it the way we do marathon. But then you cannot say that we are going to have a commemoration. Then we don't know whether you are coming from Kitengela, what time, from Lolongo, what time. We don't know you are coming from Thika Road, what time. We don't know you are coming from Kibera, what time.
Okay.
Then
Let's
that
get
one, there is
into-
no order.
Let's get into now the cracks of the matter. I think that's a good. It's a good foundation. The Public Order Act requires that notification to be given.
Yes.
It is not. What would I say? It's not permission. It is a notification
Yes.
that there will be a procession, or there will be a memorial service, or something of the sort,
Yes.
or there will be a protest, a sit-in, whatever you call it,
Yes.
a walk. It is not a requirement for permission. Now,
Can I
does
correct
the-
you?
yeah, please.
Why there is permission in it is because you can be told by the OCS that that venue you are booking, somebody else has booked it. So get another venue. Or he can tell you that that route you are using, some people are going to use it at this time. Can you have it at another time? So as much as you want to say it is not a permission, there must be mutual agreement on purposes of order to know whether, and that is why they are saying not more than 14 days. Why? Like during political rallies, a rogue political party or a political party in power can decide to book all stadiums or all parks. And then the opposition or the government, or it is the opposition booking all this, and then now their competitors, because there's more than one political party, they don't have where to carry out their meetings.
Understood.
So it is not just permission.
Still.
Yes.
It is still not permission. Like you've said, if this is something mutual, where you notify the police of your intention to have a procession somewhere, to have a sit-in, to have a walk, to have whatever it is, and they notify you of either the availability or lack of, there is no requirement there for permission. It is still a notification to help the police facilitate whatever it is that you're doing.
That is true.
Yes. So then there's no requirement for permission.
No. We cannot say that, because people have different understandings. Somebody may think that he can just go and do it because there is no permission. The reason why you are notifying police is so that police can tell you whether you agree, whether there is availability of the venue or not, whether there is somebody else who is going to use that, because you can be denied. Not denied that they have authority to deny you outrightly, but with a good reason that is understandable. And that is why saying outrightly that there is no permission makes a person who's we have different IQs, we have different notifications. It may not be a permission per se, but there must be an agreement depending on whether it is used. But then the police has no arbitrary authority to deny you a venue which has not been booked and it is not at risk. Just like ordinarily, we cannot give you a venue in Parliament.
Yeah.
We cannot give you a venue in a school and children are going to school.
So then, let me pivot. Do police can police arbitrarily block the freedom of movement and curtail movement and barricade roads, regardless of a court order?
Yes, they can. They can barricade. Depending on the security situation at that particular time. I give you an example, like yesterday.
Yes.
And I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. There was commemoration.
Yes.
Where was the point of assembly? Agreed. No, don't say.
I actually don't know.
Yes.
But receipt
Because-
of the notice,
yes.
then would know, because there was a notice that was issued, and
Yes.
the Nairobi police commander actually acknowledged that there was a notice.
Yes.
And CS Murkomen said there was a notice.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
the police
I
commander said
agree.
no,
He didn't have the notice.
But CS Murkomen said they
He
had
had a notice.
received.
Yes, but you see, it is not the CS to receive a notice. Just a minute. It is not even the IG to receive a notice.
It's the OCS.
The person who should receive a notice is the officer commanding police station.
Police station.
And when he receives the notice, there should be a convener. And that is why I would wish to have the convener of yesterday's meeting to tell us,
So
just a minute, did he say, this is where we are going to convene and we are going to have it between this time and this time?
So, Charles, here's the thing, yeah. Information flows either upwards,
Yes.
and where power structures are concerned,
Yes.
information trickles upwards,
Yes.
correct? From
Yes.
the receiving officer
Yes.
all the way up to the highest, which is the CS.
Yes.
So, we are not saying the CS is the one who received the notice, but
Yes.
he acknowledged
Yes.
that the police had received the notice.
Yes.
If that is coming from the highest office
Yes.
within the security organs, then
Yes.
it means due process was followed.
Not
Correct?
really.
We are not
You can receive a notice. You can receive a notice. Like I've seen people giving notices, but it's a blank notice. We will have commemoration on this day. But you find that, number one, there is no convening officer. The person who takes responsibility for that meeting that you want to, there must be a convening person, so and so. I would want to be challenged, even if it is tomorrow.
Yes.
Who was the convening person?
Person for
Are you
this.
getting me?
Right.
Because from where I sit, I am not even aware.
Does the Public Order Act require that there is a convener?
Yes,
Okay.
it is in the law. There must be a you see, you cannot have a meeting na kuna mwenye ana own kwamba I am the one who is convening this meeting.
That is very
Even if it is Orengo convening, because I saw Orengo somewhere. And you know, he's a very senior advocate.
Yeah.
He's not an ordinary man. Yeah?
Yes.
And a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
So, and I saw him, I think, kwa ofisi IG, because I saw him with a spokesperson.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that was the right place to go. But I can assure you that notice was given. But nobody said in that notice that we are going to convene at this point, we are going to move to this point at this time. And that is why the police found themselves in a very awkward position.
Okay.
They don't know where these people are coming from. They don't know where they are going to meet. They are just saying they are going to come to the city. But we also go back to the previous history.
Several questions here before you even go
Correct.
back to
Yes.
history. So I think what you're alluding to is that the justification for the barricades is because you don't know where this procession will
It's
be
coming
moving.
from. Yes.
You essentially blocked off the entire city, did
Yes.
not allow access into the city.
Yes.
So how does that, who does that serve in this case, number one? Number two, it's still in contravention of a court order. Number three, at any point, because it's a give and take situation, and we have said this is mutual, it's a mutual symbiotic relationship where citizens notify the police of an intent to assemble
Yeah.
and the police provide security and So if there was a notice given and they did not have the necessary details of tutatoka archives, tufike Odeon, tufike Kenyatta Avenue, tushuke hadi Parliament, if that was not there, then do you know that there was any attempt by the police service to ask, okay, so mnapita wapi, mmetuambia but amtuambia mmepita wapi?
You see, you can only ask
Yeah.
a convener. or the person.
The notice was given by someone or somebody.
We are still here in the studio.
Yes.
I hope Kenyans are watching us.
Yes.
I would humbly request that you give a number so that somebody can send us a copy of that notice when we are here, because that will really save us. If we can be able to get a copy of that notice when we are still here, it really saves us if it ever showed. And that is why I was coming back to history, that what have we seen in the past in Nairobi?
So just before you move on to that point,
Yes.
and when we go on break, we'll reach out to Boniface Mwangi, who had shared a route map, which is one of the requirements in the Public Order Act, on the route that would be followed.
Yes.
So ours is to then tie that to a notice that either came from the Nairobi Police Commandant on whether this is the route that they presented, and I'm just again extracting information off his social media handles on what the intent of the march was, because then here we're talking about the march to with the families of the victims, and also the route that would be starting from Jivanji, walking down Kenyatta Avenue, Kimathi Street, Harambe Avenue, and then the last stop would be Parliament Road to lay flowers, which still happened yesterday with Boniface Mwangi, Hussein Khalid of Vocal Africa, and the families, and also we had Maraga, certain principals
Wamalwa
from the opposition. So that assembly in itself would want to get the notice for it. Okay, we'll try and get it during the break. But there was a lot of this provided to the police force.
Yeah.
And so what we would want to know,
there was
number one, was Mwangi the convener?
We'll get that information.
So if we get that he was the convener, if we get that he was the convener, and we get the notice that he gave to the
Nairobi Police,
Nairobi Police, then there would be justification of their movement.
Correct.
You know,
but then now, on top of it, we also need to find out, did they start from the point where they were starting? Were they accompanied by the police?
Okay.
Because even the police has a responsibility to accompany them.
It does.
To ensure that it is done peaceably, because it is not one way. It is not just the conveners that can be wrong.
Charles,
even the security
you
people.
know what you're doing is you're hanging on to like little details to try and excuse what is essentially a disregard of the law. Did they show
You will
up
tell me the disregard.
The disregard of the law, like I've said
Yes.
several times,
Yes.
this is in contravention of a court order
Which one?
that barred the police from erecting barricades. We can even go back to the story and to the court order from a court case filed by Katiba Institute last year that High Court gave the order that police cannot barricade entry into the CBD without prior notice and good reason. That's
Correct.
contravention of a court order.
Notice to who?
To the public.
To the
so
public.
just
To the
reading
public.
this in
Yes.
part, the orders first granted in July 9th restrained the IG of police and officers under his command from mounting barricades or blocking access to Nairobi CBD without issuing a timely public advisory. They were later extended pending determination of a constitutional petition filed by the very same institute that we're talking about. Now, the court said the orders were necessary to prevent public inconvenience whenever police restricted access to roads and directed that any emergency closures be proceeded by adequate notice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to say that essentially because you did not know where the procession would be coming from or in what direction, so you barricaded an entire city, sounds to me like, oh, there was a cockroach in the house, I bombed the house. That's exactly what you're saying.
There's no bombing by barricading.
I'm explaining
There's no bombing.
the ridiculousness of this idea that this entire city was barricaded because you did not know where this procession would be moving in.
Did
That's
you come
one
to work
court
yesterday?
order. I did come to work yesterday, but not easily. Ask Felaris. Felaris was
I
asked
will
to
tell you
remove
of my
stones
experience. I was
on
told
the
by
road.
police officers to remove stones for myself from the barricade, and it was a negotiation.
And allow you to pass.
Charles, 30 minutes of me
Yes.
having a whole conversation
With the
with very
police.
arrogant police officers.
Yes.
I even had to turn it into a humorous situation so that I don't
Get
get out
into
of
problems.
my element at
Yes.
4 o'clock in the morning. And we're
Yes.
just about to take a break. We'll be right
It's okay.
back, even as we continue with this conversation and as we try and get that notice so that we can substantiate where the police force was wrong, whether or not we were going against court orders, and also if all of these things are checked, can we get some form of accountability? This is Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. Hashtag is Fixing the Nation NTV. We are back in conversation with Charles Owino, former police spokesperson and, of course, director at the National Communications Center. Send us WhatsApp Nation videos and we'll be more than happy to play them in the next hour. Our number is 0769 590 762. That's 0769 590 762. I'll see you.
Absolutely. Back in conversation with Charles Owino, who's the former police spokesperson, and we are just reviewing the events of yesterday, just around certain legalities or illegalities, and was the police force acting on whose orders when they set up barricades? And we're just getting an explanation from Charles Owino, and also in getting to understand the notice that again was filed. Where was it filed? What permits were granted? And I believe we have somebody on the line who'd be able to actually substantiate that, because you did ask for evidence of notice, right?
Yes, indeed. So we have Ian Mutiso Wakili on the line, who has in his possession what was given as the notice to IG Kanja and I believe to the OCS. But let him speak. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Let's try and get the
volume up.
In studio so that Charles can be able to hear. Just a second, Ian.
Good morning.
Fantastic. We've got you. So, Ian, you've sent to my WhatsApp a copy of the notice that was given. Please tell us who this notice was served to and who it came from.
As you can see on that particular notification, it was sent to Douglas Kanja, the Inspector General, and it was actually copied to the OCS Central Police Station in Nairobi.
And this notice, does it have a convener for, and does it have a route or a venue and a convener?
Yes, it does have a convener. As you can see on the first paragraph of that particular notice, it shows the conveners were Julian Munyao and Crispin Odawa, who are parents of Rex Masai. Those are the conveners.
Fantastic. And I've got a copy that we'll be putting up right in just a minute. We'll put it on air, but just to read it for our viewers, it says it's written to Douglas Kanja, Inspector General of Police from the at the Kenya National Police Service, and it says, remembering our sons and daughters, our Gen Z Mashuja. It says our names are Jillian Munyao and Crispin Odawa, parents of Rex Masai. In June 2024, during peaceful protest against the finance bill, Kenyan security officers killed our son and those of other parents. Our children were exercising their constitutional rights to protest and deliver petitions to public officers to challenge poor governance. They were murdered in cold blood, many of them shot in the back while fleeing. Some were shot in the head. To illustrate, police intent was to kill, not to apprehend the protesters. We would like to notify you that on Thursday, June 25th, 2026 at 10 a.m., we have invited all Kenyans to proceed on a peaceful march as mothers, fathers, siblings, relatives, friends to the Kenyan Parliament to demand justice and lay flowers where our children were murdered. There will be similar vigils and commemorations in all the 47 counties of Kenya. So Charles is saying that essentially, one, that there was no convener and no route venue, which was the justification for police barricading all of Nairobi. Your thoughts, Ian?
Well, if you look at the Section 5 of the Public Order Act, it states that it should have a convener, the time, and the proposed venue. If you look at that particular letter, it says who's the convener. It was actually signed, dated. It shows it was received by the National Police Service and copied to Postia Central Police Station. And lastly, it shows exactly where the parents and the protesters were going to lay flowers and commemorate the lost lives as of June 25th, 2024. So it actually meets all the requirements as of Section 5 of the Public Order Act. It is not, as espoused by Charles Owino, that a route must, no. But the venue itself has already been indicated. So it meets the standard.
Okay. Charles?
In that you are
forward it to,
where were they convening?
At Parliament?
No. It was a procession from somewhere to somewhere.
Relatives, friends, There was
a map you were sent
Kenyan
for.
Parliament to demand justice and lay flowers where our children were murdered.
There was a map I saw you
So
with.
the map.
Yes, the
Where
map
were
was
they
shared.
Where were they convening?
So the convening point was
step by step.
Jivanji.
This is our country.
We can
We
go
want
step
to-
by step, but I will tell you exactly what you're doing right now. You're trying to look for a
No,
detail
no,
to discount that
Excuse me.
essentially
I want
all
to tell you.
the
I want to
merits
tell
were
you one
met.
thing. My years of service is older than your age, and I'm very factual. I'm working on practicability.
Okay.
And I want us to go step by step. You
Okay.
know, when you sought justice, it is basic that you sought justice with clean hands. And that is why we want a continuous practice that is going to put us as a country in a way we avoid conflict or suspicions.
Correct.
Just a minute. You have a long time to live. So what I'm saying is, number one, where were they convening? Let us just go step by step. Where were they convening? We want to go for the day yesterday. Where were they convening?
Listen,
Ngoja kidogo.
it step by step, yeah?
We'll go
Naomba
step by
tu-
step.
naomba-
We'll-
naomba
we're
kwa
going step by
unyenyekevu.
step. We're going step by step, but I'm
Not
really
bad.
avoiding. Let me tell
Don't
you what
avoid.
I'm avoiding. It is essentially this thing of, okay, where were
You
they
told
going?
me
Da, da, da,
there
da.
was a route.
Okay,
Yes.
there's
So
the
the
route.
route-
Let's spell it
Yes.
out for you.
From Jivanji,
Yes.
walk down Kenyatta Avenue,
Yeah.
join Kimathi Street,
Yes.
down to Harambee Avenue,
Yes.
and then Parliament being the
Okay.
end point.
So my next question, did they convene at Jivanji?
So I'll throw back the question to you and ask, if you have police presence that would be barring entry into the convening point, then
Excuse
is that
me, you have
right in
already
its
you have
own
already
way?
notified the police,
Correct.
and you have said the people who are going to come, isn't it? And the police wants to allow just the people who are going to come. Kenyans have complained of goonism. Kenyans have complained of people infiltrating into demonstrators. Are you getting me? And we have seen people burning cars during demonstrations.
That is
We have
true.
seen people robbing supermarkets. We have seen people in conflict. I want to see where this team, especially the parents, and the team they are working with, somewhere, because you know TVs were all over, reporters were all over, somewhere, even let's say they are moving from Westlands or they are moving somewhere, and they have been stopped. Let's assume they have come, Mama Juliana and Mama Crispin Odawa, somewhere yesterday, where they have reached, let's say, a roadblock, and they have a team of people, and they are telling police, we had given you notification, we are going to Jivanji.
Again, I'm
And
going
they
to
have been blocked. Yes. Is there any incident of that nature?
Let me tell you, I'm going to throw it back to you because
Yes.
we refuse to admit the fact that by the time you're barring entry
Yes.
into the city, how are people going to convene?
The question is not...
When the police are already targeting any
excuse-
kind of
excuse me.
assembly,
This-
let me finish my point.
Yes.
Let me finish my point. If you're already been barred entry into the city, and if at all you're seen in groups, you're already a target by the police, then how are you going to come together to try and make your way to the start point of your march?
Excuse
This
me.
is why, just before you finish, this is why I did not want to get into this thing where you try and
No,
go,
no,
Rani,
no.
allow me to speak. I've let you speak now. You get into these details of, oh, did they assemble at Jivanji? Did they do this? All that was required from these people was done. They gave notice to the OCS. They gave it to Douglas Kanja. CS Murkomen acknowledged it. Okay?
I want to-
All that was required of Kenyans was done. The responsibility here now lies with the police. That's why I'm avoiding you going about roundabout.
no.
Allow me to finish my statement.
Yes.
That's why I'm very keen on you not dilly-dallying and moving us into
I'm not.
granular details
No, I'm
so
not.
that police can escape accountability.
No,
I
I'm
have
not.
said one, this was in contravention of a court order that barred police from erecting barricades around Nairobi. That's number one, very problematic. Number two, all that was required was done. They gave notice, they said where they would be, who they were, where they were going, and they served it on time. Number three, there are so many other contraventions of court orders. Yesterday, we still saw police covering their faces again, which is an illegality.
Which
when
one?
they were,
Which policeman?
there's footage of police officers covering their faces, and we'll get the pictures for you if you want as well, if you don't
Just
believe
open
us.
your Daily
But
Nation.
you
It's
will
on one of the
see
pages,
that there
page
is a
3
big
and
problem
4.
here, that
Actually,
the
page
enforcers
4.
of law and order are clearly not following law and order. There's a picture there,
Page
page 4,
4.
masked plainclothes police officers grabbing
That's
someone.
on page 4 on your left-hand side.
So that's why
Charles?
I am not
Anyway,
allowing you
yeah.
to say,
So-
oh, they didn't
so-
assemble
so-
at
so let us
Jivanji.
go back.
There is an issue here where your people, the essential police service that is meant to be keeping law and order, is unable to follow that same law.
Let's go back.
That is the issue.
Okay.
Kenya is not a banana republic.
It is not.
Please get closer to the mic. We can't hear you.
Kenya is not a banana republic. It's a republic that is democratic, and we follow the rule of law.
Correct.
Number one, we start by doing things in the right way.
Yes.
One is that, first of all, it is wrong to notify IGP.
It was copied
Just
to
a
the
minute.
OCS. But okay.
Listen to me, you are young.
Being young is not going to...
No, listen.
That's the second time.
I have to.
I know your years of service are more than my age, but we also
and
can't
when you
waste
listen,
time.
it will help you. I'm saying this. The law provides that you notify the OCS. And notification is just rat writing. We have these two ladies who sadly lost their children. When you notify the OCS, in practical ways, you visit the police station. When you visit the police station, you will have a discussion with the OCS on how you plan to carry out your movements on that particular day. And the teams that you work together as a team. Unfortunately, we have a history where we have seen people infiltrating even to very innocent persons. There are people who take advantage of situations. These ladies may have a very good intentions of doing what is right. But we are also aware. We have had situations where bad people take advantage. And then, unfortunately, we lose lives, we lose properties. So it's my humble request that we don't behave activist. It would just be fair that next time when we have such a situation, because we are talking about the future, what has happened, people need to go to the police station. And clearly these two conveners, because I know they are stated as conveners, but we know there are people behind it, which is not a problem. They are being used as conveners, but there are people behind it. That's why you see, and they have a right to have people behind them, including advocates. There's nothing wrong with that, including the former Chief Justice, who is always with them. But what we are saying is just visit the OCS, plan for that particular day. And even if it is Jivanji, we agree how they will get into that place. Because I can assure you, if the police never barricaded entry into Nairobi to control the people who are coming in, and I'm sure the people who had been convened to come in, if they would appear at the barricades, they would be allowed to come in.
So I have a question for you, Charles.
Let me just explain to the level I can. I'm not the IGP. I am not in active service. But I'm giving you scenarios as they are supposed to be. So what I'm saying is the way we are approaching issues, like for example, I saw somebody came from Serena. It was not a place where people were supposed to be assembling and moving. I saw a place, somebody coming from Serena with motorbikes.
But you know the only reason why, and it comes back to my point, Charles, the only reason why they convened at Serena is because they couldn't get access into the CBD because we had barricades and barriers preventing
How did they get into Serena?
Because here's the thing, you should hear the same people that you saw convening at Serena. I believe there's footage of them describing how much of a hassle it was for them to find that alternative venue to convene. Kenyans having to find alternative venues to convene when they had clearly provided a roadmap is what, again, we are not hearing from you, that the police barred people, even with the issuance of notice and route map, they were still barred from accessing the CBD, again, going against court orders. Now, I want to come back to what CS Murkomen said and something that you've hinted at, which is intelligence around infiltration of assembly by rogue elements. I believe the police force can still be able to do its job and mandate, which is keep the public safe and weed out these rogue elements while still allowing Kenyans to exercise their constitutional right. Those two can exist at the same time, right?
Yes, and especially...
So we bring an entire city to paralysis.
Excuse me, and especially if the conveners and the police can work together.
But they were working together.
No. Did they ever visit Central Police Station?
So
No,
I'm
can
going
I get to know this? Did they ever visit Central Police Station?
Whether or
to
not,
plan?
you see, that is besides the point.
No,
and like you
we
said,
cannot-
yesterday's history, we are here to take accountability. So let me ask you, Charles.
Yes.
Without even trying to triangulate the issue and going back and forth, what do you think the police force did wrong yesterday? We've already established what they did right.
Which is, sorry, genuinely.
Well, according to him,
Yeah.
what they did right, they were well within their right to erect barricades in terms of maintaining public order, and that's according to him. The public would have a very different opinion of that. Mariam and I would probably have different opinions of that. But in your opinion, the police got that right. What did they get wrong? How would we have better handled this situation by allowing the families to come together and grieve their loved ones without having to experience this kind of
And also Kenyans, because this was
Actually,
open
from
to
the police
all,
force.
this was open
Actually,
to all Kenyans. So when you say that people were let in, they were
you
not.
know, even before this particular day, because, you know, we are a very open country and we have press and everybody around us.
Yeah.
How I wish that before this day, I saw these conveners at Central Police Station having a meeting with the police. And then later...
Are you now adding to the Public Order Act that now you must sit with the OCS?
So I'll
at
show
the
you
police
this video.
station?
But how are you going to plan?
Charles,
How are you going to plan?
let me tell you, I'm going to read for you.
What do you fear?
And I'll show you this video, and I wish we were playing it here. And it's a video recorded as the letter was being handed in the presence of the former Chief Justice, Willy Mutunga, former Chief Justice Minister, Senior Counsel Martha Karua, and Kivuda Kibwana. And
It was handed over to who?
It was handed over to Mushiri Nyaga.
Is he an
By these
OCS?
5 lawyers. But it already been
Is he an
signed by the
OCS?
OCS. And the very fact,
We
we keep
cannot-
going
no,
back
no,
to,
no.
again,
What is the law?
we can acknowledge something.
What is the law?
Here's the thing,
Why are
we've
you
had-
avoiding the OCS?
We are not avoiding
The
the
OCS was
So
notified. We've read that part out.
No,
for you.
he wasn't.
The OCS was notified.
This
By-
letter
by which
is
copy?
in
Who took
copy
it?
to the OCS, and it
You
was
see, you don't
received.
write a letter
So-
and you don't send it to someone physically. I saw you gave Nyaga. Nyaga is not OCS.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Why are you avoiding your OCS?
So,
Eh,
Charles, I come back to this.
yeah.
The way communication cascades within any structure is that from the receiving officer all the way to the top, they will be notified once a signature has been appended on that document. There is no way Mushiri Nyaga would be receiving, and you can hold me to this because, again, there's no way he would be receiving a document when he knows fully well the law and the act does say that the OCS is supposed to be one receiving that notice.
See, for purpose of PR, if somebody brings a letter to you, you will take it. But my question is, why are you... Because you see, this planning is done at the station level. It is not done at police headquarters level.
Charles,
Can I be
I'll
honest?
tell you for a fact.
We're being intellectually lazy.
Yeah.
The idea here is that we are unable, that we operate in silos as the police service.
No.
We had no clue. No, let me finish my thought process. That we had no clue there was going to be mandamano because it was not served to the OCS, even though we have read out to you and this letter was received that it did get to the OCS.
Correct.
You're just trying to get away on technicalities when there are much bigger issues. And that's why I was very wary of you going into this audit. Let me finish my thoughts of you going into these little technicalities while not dealing with the bigger issues here. And the bigger issues remain for me. One, there's a court order barring police from erecting barricades around Nairobi without giving prior notice. That is an illegality that was performed. These are questions we need the IG of police all the way down to the OCS, or everyone around Nairobi needs to be held accountable for that.
What kind
Two,
of...
there are
let
police
me ask
officers
Henry.
covering their faces.
Let me
Still,
ask you a question.
Again, an illegality.
Let me ask you a
You
question.
want to hang on to
What-
tiny things about, they didn't
excuse me.
inform the OCS,
What kind of-
while police are performing illegalities.
What
The
kind
people
of
in
a-
charge of law and order are breaking the
Excuse
law.
me. What kind of a country do you want to govern?
One
Where?
where police
Just
follow
a
the
minute.
law.
Where?
One where police follow
Goja,
the law.
where?
One where police follow the law.
Goja. What kind of... I'm talking about practicability of work.
I am also
If
talking
today
about
police are
practicability.
informed that a particular building in this country will be bombed by terrorists.
Yeah.
Just a simple example. So the police will go to court because they were barred from having barriers to get authority to go and put barriers to control entry into town. That is the country you want us to have.
No. Why were the police barred from erecting barricades? Because they were abusing that power and using it to block people from accessing the CBD during protests. So how did we get here? Again, it's police misusing their powers. That's how we got here. So you're not going to use national security as the excuse for everything.
The police will not compromise the security of this country for purposes of activism.
And
so if the police are of the opinion that the town will be infiltrated and we will have chaos, they will erect barriers.
So the police.
And I want to see a situation today or tomorrow where lawyers who are activists or who are supporting this to go to court for contempt against IGP so that we contest it.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know why the police have not gone to court to ensure that this order is stayed. Because police cannot operate that way. And for the purpose of your security, I can assure you, the police will erect a barrier, will create a roadblock, and it is provided for in the Criminal Procedure Code. So that order can be there, but I want to see somebody go to court for contempt. And it's not just a matter of discussion.
No,
and I'm telling you, we will not, and government and the police will not compromise the security of this city. Because of a court order that does not convene to the work of the police. The police has a duty to protect you. The police has a duty to secure you. And if the police and the intelligence department have a feeling that this town will be infiltrated, because we even saw when we had the Matatu protest.
Yes.
You saw them ban people's vehicles and Matatus, individuals. And at the end of the day, people will say, those goons were brought by government and by police. It won't happen, young girl. Yeah. Let me be very honest with you.
You know, using my age doesn't change anything. You can say it changes nothing. Because the law is the law, one. Number two, the people who uphold it must uphold it. Whether you are 30 years my senior or 50 years my senior, nothing changes.
What I'm giving you is a professional
assessment that the law doesn't apply to the police.
It is my personal opinion.
Okay.
As an individual, out of my experience, but I can also tell you, we cannot have a country where when police wants to erect a barrier or a roadblock, he goes to court. We will not be able to secure this country. And if it is there, then I would urge the head of police to put up a team of lawyers, including the Attorney General, to ensure that order is stayed immediately. Yes.
So this matter, in regards to the orders, whatever Katiba Institute filed in court in regards to the barricades, the matter is scheduled for mention in September, and we'll be keeping tabs on this because this is yet another case of police using the justification of intelligence that there would be infiltration in said assembly and protest, but at the same time there are legalities that need to be looked at. So we'll again keep looking at that, but also just getting a response from the National Police Service as far as these allegations are concerned. Is that were they stepping out of their mandate? Does the end justify the means? I think is the question that we need to ask here. That much as Kenyans feel safe, does the end justify the means? Because the law is the law. Actually, and no one is above the law.
What I would advise,
the use of national security as a pretext to curtail people's rights is getting a bit old and a bit lazy. I'll say it that time. We've seen the use of charges of terrorism preferred against peaceful protesters. Now it's the idea that because we have to protect our security, our national security, then we can barricade roads. And that's exactly how we got here, and that's how we got to the court order. So this idea that using this blanket excuse of national security is going to excuse Kenyans from asking for accountability and law and order from the police is getting old, Charles.
What I would want to say is this country belongs to all of us.
It does.
And none of us is here by chance.
True.
And what we need to promote is order. I just told you that when you sought justice, you sought it with clean hands. The first thing that we must agree, because every day we have demonstrations in this town. We have seen doctors, we have seen teachers, but every time we have what we call political demonstrations, we have a lot of challenges. And what we must agree is that when we have this kind of demonstrations, because we achieved to have the human rights article and chapter in our constitution, which was not even there before. But you must read the law in its holistic nature. The police not to be the victim or the enemy that we portray every day, because they have a role to protect all of us. That role is there. True. So that interest of a few individuals for a particular thing that they need to do is a right unto themselves. But I'm still coming back and humbly, napiga magoti, naomba kwamba tufanye hivi. If we have a public meeting, let us stop seeing police as enemy. Let the conveners go to the station. Hata waende na media, let them go to the station, let them have a meeting with the OCS, let them agree on the routes, on how they will manage, and then everybody, and even themselves, they should say, anybody who is a goon, anybody who has bad intentions, may the police deal with them.
We need
but
to wrap
if
up
we
there,
blanketly just say, because surely I have children,
we have to,
and there is no way
up.
I can allow a situation where a rogue policeman harm any Kenyan. It's not admissible. But what we are saying, can we justifiably, truly follow what the law provides?
What are we to wrap up that conversation?
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
It's coming from inside the house. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll be in a baraza talking to business owners, citizens about yesterday, the effect it had on their lives, on their biasharas, and of course matters Public Order Act and what is required legally. We'll be right back after this. #FixingTheNation NTV.